another wonderful and a bright day, still on our mission, Central Agenda program. Today, I am talking with Professor Dominic Fobi on our same issue, the role of an MP. I must tell you that this program is being powered by Star Ghana, Coastal Television. We are going around to undertake such projects. Prof, you are welcome.
Thank you.
How is Parliament?
Well, Parliament is fine. We are on recess, and I think we are enjoying the hazards that go with recess.
I should think by the time you get back to Parliament, you might have gone so fat because you have to sleep and do other things.
Oh, it's not just sleeping. It's rather movement, thinking, reflections, and so and then preparation for the new session.
So is that also a constituency time, the time for your constituencies?
Yes, it's a time for constituency. And we do go back to Parliament behind the scene to have committee meetings and discussions. Sometimes certain schedules are there, especially we, the ranking members and the chairman of committees. We are more or less like administrators too in a way. So we work with the secretariat.
Okay.
So any letter that comes from maybe Star Ghana or some of these other NGOs, they need our attention to, first of all, decide whether that program we are going to be attending, or whether we will have to schedule some which people should attend. If I'm not going, maybe my deputy. Or so we do a lot of things behind.
So even on recession, you are not out of Parliament totally.
Yeah, we are still leaders, so we still provide that leadership.
Oh, that's okay. All right. Let's go straight to our point of discussion here. MP, a member of Parliament. What is your role?
Well, as the MP for an area, you represent the people in Parliament, okay? And you know the basis of parliamentary democracy, that is just to have a representation in the general house of the nation, so that policies, matters affecting the nation, development and so on can be discussed with the people's representative. That is it. Okay? If there is any legislation, any law that is coming in the form of a bill to the House, then it's the people's representative who will look at the merits and demerits of the bill and make certain amendments and so on. Or if it's total rejection, fine. If there's need for amendment and so on, which is normally done at the consideration stage, then we do that also. Okay. So it's just representing the people in Parliament to make first of all, to pass legislation and also to examine government's policies, policies, and to also monitor whether those policies that have been approved by Parliament are being implemented as it were.
Okay. Honorable, would you be surprised to know that a cross-section of your constituent do not know this rule you are spelling out to me?
Well, I know quite a number of our constituents are totally ignorant of this. And they have a misconception about the role of the MP. And they think you are a development leader of the community. Sometimes even beyond this, they think you bestow this, you give out development. You implement development yourself. Okay? There's a difference between initiating policies towards development and the difference also between the person who really implements the policies. Okay? We are looking at government plan, for instance. Government has a budget every year. The budget simply tells us how much money will come into government covers and how government is planning to distribute the money to the regions, the districts and so on, therefore to constituencies. And then also to assess government performance the previous year, how it's used the money that we approved and all that. Now that is our role there. Okay. But when we have approved everything, then we will also monitor to see whether government really is putting into effect what we approved for. Okay. And so that is a part of our job there. Okay. But then we are making sure, in doing all these things, we are also making sure that, hey, how far is my district being catered for in the budget? How far is government policies affecting my constituency or district, as it were? Okay. Well, government first deals with districts. Constituencies are in a district. Okay. It's a subset of it. Okay, so we look at all those things. That's where our interests come in, our sectional interests come in. Okay, so we are not only looking at the global government policy, but within the policy, you also want to see how your representation is being beneficial to your community. Yes. That's the way it looks like.
Then the question is, who should be blamed for this total ignorance on the part of the constituents?
Well, I would say that we need, you see, with Ghana, we had something like civic education. Okay, now it's the
NCC.
NCC, okay. But they have not been effective in providing that education. And it's something that was created to go side by side with our turning into real democracy from military rule. But unfortunately, that organ, which should have prepared us well for democracy, didn't function effectively for some reason or the other. Maybe the way it was created, that is it. So it became an appendage to the government of the day. Okay, I'm not talking about one particular government, but every government has always used it as an appendage and therefore rendered it ineffective in functioning. They don't want to say something that will go against the government. They don't want to say something that will expose people's, things and so on. Open the people's eyes so that they will not normally accept things as they are presented. So that is it. But so we will not say that the MP or somebody should have given the education. But sometimes, out of the ignorance, then you have people taking advantage to say something that will favor them. So maybe it's most likely an MP will go to a particular area.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
I'm giving you the background. That the real thing, you see, the real is simplistic to look at the MP and going to promise this and that. But the whole thing is the background. You see, the background, the foundation that should have been laid to prepare people's mind to know what goes with this was not done properly. So people can take advantage and then that is what is happening.
Yes, that is what is happening. I mean, after I'd gone to town, talk to people within the district and going to say across central region, that is the understanding I'm getting. But mostly, we also hear them say that, well, that is what the MP, when he was aspiring, came here to tell me that when you vote for me, I will be able to do this and do that and do that. Don't you think that has contributed hugely towards this? And how are we going to deal with it?
Well, it's a problem because as I said, people are just exploiting the situation to their advantage, and because the MP too sees himself or herself as being powerless for saying, "Oh, this I cannot do this, I cannot do that." When he wants the votes, okay, you know that, okay.
So why don't you tell them the truth?
Unfortunately, it is not. It should not be like that, okay. But that is how some MPs have arrogated that responsibility to themselves and creating problem for everybody. Okay. I always extend this same idea that even governments are also sometimes guilty. Okay, if the president comes here and says, "Oh, we are going to tar this road with asphalt," the first thing we should have asked is, in the budget, was there anything like that? The government has prepared its budget for the year. That is all the money that he is likely to get for projects, and then allocated them. Did he allocate something for your road, as a road that is going to be tarred with asphalt? And yet he comes here and tells you, and then we clap for him. And there's nothing like that. The president cannot command money from anywhere to do that project. Okay. So it is just everybody is exploiting the situation. That is what I'm telling you. That the solution is the fundamental thing that should have been done. People being aware that when you say this, I cannot take you serious because I'm knowledgeable that this is not the way to do it. That one is not there. So you can always tell me anything to deceive me and then get away with it. But I will question you because I'm saying this because I'm aware of it. That's why I'm saying that even the president, if he comes here to tell me, "Oh, we are going to build a university here," and then I will first look back and see, has government any policy for putting up this thing here? Then I should not take this serious. Okay, so
I've been speaking with Professor Dominic Fobi. He is the Member of Parliament for Assin South, and he has really articulated very well, giving us the role as a parliamentarian. Prof, before we go, finally, what do you think is the way forward for this issue? And two, what is the future for you if you don't go there to talk about the fact that I will construct a road and all these things? When you mount to the podium to speak, what becomes of you? What is the effect now?
Well, what I want the average Ghanaian to understand is MPs are first and foremost legislators. Okay, we are the legislators. We support development. We don't implement development. And that's, as I said at the beginning, there's a difference between the two. Well, as your representative or MP for an area, I want to see my district or constituency developed. Okay, therefore, I have interest in that. But doesn't mean that I will have a budget, separate budget for doing the building schools, clinics, tarring roads, and all. That's not my job. See, my job, I can provide leadership in that sense that, yes, maybe I should talk to the minister responsible for say feeder roads or roads, for him to know that this road here in my constituency is important. I can raise sometimes if the road is too bad and is creating problem for my people, I can ask the minister questions in parliament to create that awareness. Okay, even sometimes to the extent of embarrassing him that there's something urgent that he should have attended to, he's not paying attention to it. Okay, in my region or in my constituency. Those are the kinds of things that I should do as a representative of the people. Okay, but the Constitution doesn't give me the power to handle the budget, the annual budget for making the road. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say, for making the road. And no government will give the money to the MP to go and construct a road. It is government's mandate and responsibility.
That's notwithstanding the rule that it may be, the interaction will still be there. Yes. There should be the interaction.
Because without interaction, you wouldn't know the needs of the people. And without the visits to communities and talking to them, of course, you don't just visit a community and just go without talking to people, seeing people, and listening to them. So that will help you to be more conversant with the problems of the community. So that you can articulate it either in parliament. If you are going to ask the minister, you must know what is happening there. Because after the first question, the written question, you have to ask supplementary questions. And these supplementary questions must be based on facts on the ground. So if you know that you have visited the problem, the site yourself, you know the problem, you can then ask good supplementary questions to even expose the minister if it's not. So that interaction is very, very important. Represent people, and not just the empty space.
I must thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you very much.
It's really a great privilege for me to have you, to have such interaction with you.
Well, I'm also grateful that featuring in this program.
So this is Professor Dominic Fobi, MP for Assin South, Coastal Television powered by Star Ghana. We want to bridge the gap between the constituents and their MPs, and also ensuring the role of an MP, the constituent understanding that role, so together we can all deepen democracy.